Hey trainers, I'm JC with Pop Punk Pokemon on Pallet Town Passport. This is going to be 8 tips to spice up your AR Plus Pokemon photography. Let's get it. So, step 1 is going to be, for the love of God, shoot landscape mode. That is to say, instead of shooting like this, turn it like this. A world of difference. Let me show you what I mean. So we've got a Treecko here. So I really like this area I'm at right now, and it's got like some really cool atmosphere, and it's kind of a great place to shoot. Let's make this guy pop, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you shoot like this, not very interesting. So I'm gonna get down over here. Kind of interesting, but like, look how much we're missing if we don't. See what I mean? Way better. And that brings me on to step 2. Step 2, get low. See how I'm down here on the ground? Best possible way to take photos. Because if you're on their level, it makes them look way more realistic. So I've got this Treecko in here, and he's surrounded by this forest, and I think that fits. So that brings me up to step 3. Step 3 is gonna be patience. Patience is probably the most important thing when it comes to photography in general. And when it comes to Pokemon photography, especially in Pokemon Go, you really just kind of have to wait for them to do something interesting. Because as cool as this guy looks, it's way more interesting if you have him doing some kind of attack or a jump or something just out of the ordinary. You want to make it seem more original. Originality is key. Sometimes if I don't care about the Pokemon, like that is to say I don't want to catch him, I just care about the photo, sometimes I'll just kind of do this with my phone and it'll make him do something. Sometimes he'll attack, sometimes he'll get upset, sometimes he'll jump, but it helps. But that also increases the flee rate when you jump out of AR Plus mode. So let's see if I can get him to do something. Come on, buddy. Perfect. So the next step I want to talk about is location. Location, location, location. So location matters because you really want to make them feel like they're in their natural habitat, and that makes for a much better quality photograph. I just so happen to be in a spot where there's 3 kind of distinct areas that I can photograph with. I have kind of an empty plains field, I have a kind of forest area, and I have the ocean. So that can get me things like ground types to grass types, rock types, things like that. And then down by the ocean, I can go ahead and hit those water types as well. So I just so happen to be lucky enough to be in a location that carries these 3 little biomes here. And it also happens to be a nest, but we'll see what that changes over to later. Okay, I've got this Kricketune here, and I'm gonna risk it. Oh, he's tiny. Okay, so I gotta get close. Okay. He's freaking out. Let's see if he does anything interesting. The jump isn't very interesting. Maybe wait for an attack. We'll see. Patience is definitely key. Sometimes you sit here for like 2 or 3 minutes before he does something interesting. Just want to see what your attack looks like, buddy. Stop jumping. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so this is another helpful tip. Since I'm down by the ocean now, I want to show you this. There's a way to stack research rewards, and that's one way you can kind of tow a Pokemon around, and that way they won't run on you. You can take pictures of them anywhere you want. So I have a couple stacked up here, and I know the first one's a Dratini. So even if you run from him, he's not going to go away. You go back into your research rewards and just click on him again. And there he is. He'll be there until you catch him. He'll never run away, and you can carry him wherever you want. He can be your little kind of buddy. So let's go ahead and take a nice little AR photo of this Dratini here. So in AR Plus mode, you have to kind of look around for the grass to grow, and then once you click on the grass, the Pokemon will appear. Now, if you don't like the positioning, which I'm not really happy with that because I know Dratini's best side is his left side, I'm gonna go ahead and just click on the AR Plus mode and reset it. So I'm gonna click it again, and we'll come back over here. If we come over here, we can line him up on the sea cliff. So we'll click it like that, There we go, that's a little better. So we'll come over here and get on his left side. See, that's way more interesting. And we can get close. Not quite as close to the cliff as I'd like him to be. That's okay. Let's try again. So we'll reset the air plus. Great. Let's try and put you over there. Still not as close as I'd like you to be. Sometimes it's tricky. Like I said, patience is key, man. There we go. Oh, that should be good. Yay. All right, so he's right on the cliff there. All right, let's see what we can get. There we go. Now we've got something interesting. We've got Dratini in full view and we've got some waves in the background. I like this. Now, I do like him just kind of like that because you don't see him from that angle a lot, so I'll keep that probably. Let's just keep that. All right, so we've got a wild Wingull here, and these are a little trickier because the sky Pokemon, they're kind of trickier to get involved with the environment. So this is a wild spawn, so you gotta be careful it won't run on you. I like this area I'm at where I was trying to shoot the Dratini. So let's see if I can get him to pop up here. Okay, I like that, but he's not very interesting from the front. So let's try the side. There we go, okay. See, I like that. Cool composition, Pokemon's in good focus. The colors are great, that means the exposure's great. So let's see if we can get closer and get a little better shot. He's kind of doing interesting things. Let's see, how about over here? A little more interesting? Might have to wait for him to raise up. Oh, that attack is cool. I like that. Let's get you up higher, buddy. There we go. All right, now do the, oh, how about, there we go. I like that. Oh, now he's just up and down on all around. Oh, he's drifting. This is a glitch that happens sometimes where they just kind of drift off. Sometimes it can be helpful, especially if you're trying to land it on water, because water doesn't quite stick to the AR grid yet, but I don't like where he moved, so I'm happy with the 2 shots I did get. Okay, so we've got ourselves a Pokemon that looks pretty good in like the open plains in this big field. It's a Yanma. So we're gonna click on this guy. All right, now he's a flying Pokemon, but he's also a little tricky, so let's see what we can do. I'm gonna come over here to just kind of this empty part. Don't want to get too low because it kind of sticks good in the sky. Yanma's a good Pokemon to include my next tip, which is the rule of thirds. When you go ahead and switch over to landscape mode, imagine that your phone, or at least the entire screen, is a tic-tac-toe board. If you put the Pokemon anywhere in those 4 spots on the tic-tac-toe board, you're gonna get a really, really good result in the photograph. So again, we're gonna wait for him to kind of do his thing. I like walking on this side because it kind of adds a little depth to him. There we go. See what I mean? A lot better than, say, something like that. Not as good. I like getting nice and close, getting that rule of thirds on. Rule of thirds will really, really increase the quality of the photograph you take. Okay, let's see if I can get one with his attack. There we go. Okay, now that we've got some photos in the can, we can go ahead and focus on my next tip, which is editing. It's kind of the last thing you do after you get a good solid photo. All the edits that I do on my Instagram, which is right here, are all done on my phone. I do know Photoshop pretty well, but because I have that knowledge, I'm able to use an app on my phone that is similar to the kinds of effects I can get in Photoshop, but I don't have to upload it to a computer. I can just do it all from my phone. So I'll probably do like a full-length tutorial on this in another video, but here's a quick little thing just to kind of get you going here. So we'll come up to our photos. The first thing you want to do, let's see, let's go for, which one of these Wingulls did I like better? I like that one. I like that one too. The first thing you want to do is just kind of rotate them, because if you save an iPhone, they switch that way if you shoot landscape. Okay, so I like that one a lot. I like that one too. Let's edit this one. I use a couple of different apps, but my favorite is, and the most popular one that I use is one called Snapseed. It's free in the App Store, you can download it. So what I do is I open the app and I'll hit the plus sign. So I like this photo. There are a bunch of different little filters you can run here, which are, some of them are okay, but I prefer to go into tools because I'm familiar with what all of these do. So the first thing I usually do is go to details and punch up the structure and punch up the sharpening, and that'll make it just look a little more crisp. Click the check mark, pull up tools again. The second thing I do is hit the HDRscape, and what that'll do is just kind of even out the lighting and exposure on across the entire photo. And you can do several different versions of this that kind of change the way it looks. I like to get a lot of depth and shading to the Pokemon to kind of make them look more realistic. So you just kind of play around with it, find what works best for you. I like this one the best, so I'm gonna hit that okay. And then the next thing I do is I hit up Tune Image, and this is where you can kind of fine tune different things within the photo. So it starts with brightness, and I'll just scroll that up. Left and right is, while pressing, is how you kind of adjust that. So I'll boost the brightness a little bit. I like to boost the contrast because I'm a big fan of heavy contrast. Saturation just a little bit, but the ambiance a little more, and that'll add more colors and tone. I like that one a lot. Highlights to just get some pop. Shadows, we'll bring those down to get some good dark colors in there. That's great. Now the warmth will adjust your white balance, kind of. So you can cool it down by going left or warm it up by going right. And those are just kind of the major extremes to see where it's at. Now, typically I like cooler photos, but this one I want to kind of make the land kind of grip because it's not as prominent as the blue. And then after that, the next thing I'll do is I'll go into the white balance and go ahead and adjust that as well. Warm it up a little bit, get some sun color in there, make the ground look better. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Then I'll just hit export and export. And there we've got it. You've got a nice little edited photo there. And I'll go ahead and post it right to my Instagram right away. Okay, so now I've got my Instagram here. We'll go ahead and hit the plus button and we'll pull up this guy. Looks pretty good. Hit next and just write a caption. How about beach day? There we go. Boom. Beach day. And that's that. So the last kind of tip or advice I can give you is just practice. Practice every day. Do it as often as possible, and the more you do it, the better you get. Well, that about does it for my tips for better AR photography. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer all your AR photography questions. Yeah, that's about it for me. So keep calm, spice up your life.